Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Before we start the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow. Let's dive into the match review. Soccer. The Champions League is heating up, and already in the second round, we're getting a spectacle of the highest level. Many fans expected to see Barcelona and PSG clash in last year's final. It didn't happen then, but now we finally get this matchup. Of course, the stakes aren't as high as in a final, but on the other hand, that might make things even more exciting for neutral fans. Both teams have nothing to fear. Instead, they have a great chance to prove their strength against one of the toughest opponents possible. We've prepared a breakdown of the strong and weak points of both sides, plus some interesting facts. Make sure to watch until the end. There's a big surprise waiting for you. Expectations for Barcelona this season are sky high. Last year showed that the Catalans have a team capable of beating anyone, which makes them contenders for every title. Hansi Flick has built a monster, a team that presses relentlessly and attacks non-stop. Defending a few times isn't enough. The Blaugrana will keep pushing again and again. The only thing that could slow this machine down is injuries to key players. Right now, Barca is not going through the best phase in that regard. Rafinha, Jon Darsha, Gavi, and Fermin want to play against PSG. While the last two aren't crucial starters, losing the first two will definitely be felt. Fortunately, for the fans, Lamine Yamal is back, and it took him just 1 minute after returning to the field to assist Lewandowski in the game against Real Sociedad, lifting Barca to the top of the La Liga table. Alejandro Balde is also recovering. Reports say he might appear against PSG, though most likely not from the start. So, let's take a look at each line of the team. The goalkeeper will be Wojciech Szczesny, the weakest spot in Barcelona's lineup. The Polish keeper has plenty of experience, but last season he often struggled in big matches. Szczesny tends to commit fouls leading to penalties and isn't great when coming out to cover defenders or distributing the ball, the key factor since Barca will have to deal with PSG's pressing, which is just as strong as their own. Jon Darsha used to bring stability and calmness to the defense. Despite a mistake against Sevilla, he started the season brilliantly and saved his team many times. Without him, things will be tough. Ter Stegen is still recovering from injury, so Flick doesn't really have other options. In defense, there's plenty of depth. How Barca will surely start. His passing is vital for Barca's build-up, but who partners him remains a mystery. This season, the Rojo pairing has been tested, but it works best when breaking up opposition attacks. Under pressure, though, it's vulnerable, as Ronald is the weakest passer among Barca defenders. Christensen might get the nod, or Flick could surprise everyone in field. The more mobile Eric Garcia against PSG's light, fast attack. On the left side, Gerard Martin will start, another potential weak spot for Barca. Despite his progress, the young Spaniard still lacks the pace and class to keep up with the world's best wingers, and this time he might face either Kvaratskhelia or Barcola. In midfield, there are few doubts. Jong and Pedri will control the holding zone, with Dani Olmo playing above them. However, Olmo hasn't yet hit his form. He's rushing decisions and often overcomplicating. Nevertheless, it's obvious that Flick will rely on his most experienced players. In attack, Rashford will replace Rafinha. Marcus is on fire, contributing in 6 consecutive matches. He's coming back to form, though it's hard to expect him to single-handedly make the difference against PSG. The real question is, how much space will he be given to run in time midfield? We'll most likely see Ferran Torres. Lewandowski played the full match against Real Sociedad, so Flick is unlikely to start the veteran again just a few days later. Besides, Ferran seems a more suitable option for this kind of game. He's fast, presses well, and fits better against PSG style. In short, we probably won't see the best version of Barcelona this time. The team will clearly miss Garcia, Balde, and Rafinha. However, Yamal is back, and he'll be the main hope for the Catalans. Lamine struggled against Nuno Mendes in the Nations League final. Now he has the perfect chance for revenge. Now, let's move on to PSG. Barcelona's injury list could have been good news for the Parisians, but they have their own problems. Reports mention that up to 8 PSG players might miss the game, though Luis Enrique said at the press conference that both teams have around 5 or 6 injured players. That's at least some reason for optimism among PSG fans. We definitely won't see on the pitch Ousmane Dembele, Desire Doué, Kvaratskhelia and Marquinhos. Those are major, irreplaceable losses for PSG. Widner's participation is still uncertain. He's in the squad list but not guaranteed to start, which means Enrique's staff will have to think carefully about their setup. Against Marseille, Enrique used a 5-3-2 formation to cover up the team's attacking issues. It didn't work well. PSG lost, but he might still go back to that model, since he doesn't have many options left, considering the absences of Dembele, Videna, and Doué. Enrique could once again use this system and pair Ramos with Likanen up front. There's also a chance Barcola will appear instead of the Korean, though he's usually used on the left wing. That would be more of an emergency solution. Most likely, we'll see a classic attacking trio with Ramos as the central striker and Likanen and Barcola on the flanks. If Enrique repeats the same setup from the Marseille match, then we could see Gonzalo Ramos paired with Bradley Barcola. In midfield, the key man is Vitinha. His absence would affect every phase of PSG's play, from defense to transitions and ball control. Joao Neves and Fabian Ruiz are both fit, so together with them we might see Zaire Emery in the center, a combination Enrique has been using recently. PSG also faces serious problems in defense, especially with Marquinhos, their captain and leading defender, out. There's an option to start Elir Zabarny, and most likely we'll see him paired with Pacho. The Parisians will probably rely on their wing play, where Nuno Mendes and Hakimi are both in great form. And now we'll see what Chevalier is really worth in big matches, and whether swapping Donnarumma for him was the right decision. In general, making predictions for PSG is even harder than for Barcelona. So much will depend on Widner's condition. He's the player holding the entire structure together. When the Portuguese midfielder is at his best, he provides his team with top-quality control, even against opponents like Barcelona. But if he's missing, PSG's positional attacks will suffer badly. It's like taking Pedri out of Barca. In any case, we can be sure of one thing: neither team will abandon their signature style. Both have very similar approaches: high pressing, dominance in possession, a high defensive line, and a constant drive to attack. So, who will impose their will on the other? That's the main question ahead of a match that promises to be one of the brightest and most unpredictable of this Champions League group stage. What do you think? Who will come out on top? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Soccer ball.